Well, hello there, and welcome to Dive St. John 2017. There's a still shot of me doing my descent, getting ready to see some sea life. So we're diving this year with Low Key Water Sports. It's our probably third or fourth year we've dove with them. Our dive master is Basil, and diving with my sister Cheryl, and also a gentleman from Minneapolis. So there was three of us. What we see here is an octopus, and it's right in the middle of the screen. Hard to see. They blend themselves in with the rocks, so it's very difficult to pick them out. Um, did the best I could. This is early in the dive, so I'm having a little bit of issue with my neutral buoyancy and trying to get everything down straight. But um, after taking a look at the octopus, we move along and we're diving at about 30 to 35 feet. We're at Lavango Cay. Actually, Lavango Key is how you say that. That's the dive master right there with the pink flippers. Great dive master, really did a good job pointing out different sea creatures. And right about now, he turns around, looks, see where we're at, and then he actually goes down a little bit and picks up a sea spider. We all got an opportunity to hold the sea spider as well as a sea urchin. So here you see like a snow cone sea urchin, which was pretty cool. So then we go on, and he's pointing out a lobster, which is right down where he's looking right now. So as the video moves on and I get a little bit closer, you'll see the lobster's antenna kind of poking out there. I've got my GoPro on a like a selfie stick, but not pointing at me, and I get as close as I can to the lobster guy. You can see him there. Caribbean lobster don't have any claws, but they're fairly large and kind of scary looking, to say the least. Moving along, we are heading with the current at this point, and looking for other little creatures that are about. Little school of fish there, the yellow school of fish that you see. Pretty good color. The visibility was about 30 feet. Topside was warm and sunny when we descended. And this first dive, we stayed at about 30 to 35 feet. There's a school of fish there. Coming up on the right, you'll see a school of squid. So that was kind of interesting. I never saw those before. They are coming up at about 2 o'clock on the video now, and you see them as little black dots. I get as close as I can. Don't want to scare them away. They were interesting because they just hover there and didn't move at all, and they actually looked like the Starship Enterprise, the way they were kind of slender in the back and then fan out around their head. So there's quite a few of them there. You can see them going across the whole shot, and then there's just a fish there that happens to be going along as well. They just stayed there, didn't move, didn't pay much attention to me. I got as close as I thought I could without scaring them away and spoiling it for others. So after we left our squid, we came upon a ray. I'm not sure what type of ray. It was actually the largest one I've ever seen. You can see him there. He's kicking up some sand around him. He's eating. What he's eating, I'm not sure. He was probably, I would say, 5 feet from tip to tip on his wingspan. You can see his eyes. He's basically looking right at me, fish above him. He's just chomping away and stirring up all kinds of commotion around him. I got about as close as I felt comfortable getting. I didn't want to get too close. Didn't want to scare him away, and also didn't want to encounter his tail, if in fact that's the type of ray that would whip his tail up and get the best of you. So, but that was pretty cool to see. Coming up after the ray is some swimming along. We left Lavango Cay and went to Mingo Key. I keep saying key instead of K instead of key. So we're just kind of swimming along, looking around, seeing what Dive Master Basil is going to point out next. I'm not quite sure in my videoing where we go from one dive site to the other. Well, there's the pufferfish. So he's my favorite of all the sea life that we see, the pufferfish. You see him coming at me there. They're really cool. He's pretty relaxed right now. I don't know if you've watched my video from last year, but there was a time when the dive master actually was able to hold the pufferfish, and he puffed his body out, and we were able to kind of hold him. So that was really kind of neat. That one was pretty relaxed, so he was just kind of moving along. I think this might have been that last transition, might have been when we went from Lavango Key to the next dive site, which was Mingo Key, on Mango Key. So that was a little bit deeper dive. We went to about 50 feet once we got there. So 45, 50 feet for just a few minutes. You'll notice a lot of the time the color changes on the video. That would be the deeper that we go, the less color is able to be picked up by the camera. So there's a lobster there that's just kind of hanging out. I have a red filter on the lens of the camera, so it helps to put some of the color back in that gets filtered out by the depth of the water. So it's just a little side bit of information. So here we are, just kind of looking around. He's pointing again to something. I do get in for a closer shot. I think it's another octopus, but again, it's really difficult to see. And not being totally comfortable with what I can touch and what I can't touch as far as anything to stabilize myself, because I don't want to damage anything, nor do I want to get stung. So he's pointing in the crevice of the rocks there, trying to get the best shot that I can, and I think there's an octopus in there, but I'm not really sure. So if you saw it, great. A lot of time I don't actually see them, and I just put my camera in there wondering if it will come out in the video. So he's in there, but again, I don't see him. So then as I was moving away a little bit, away from the octopus, I see a pencilfish, which is very easy to see. There he is. And it's very cool. So I kind of followed him along a little bit as we moved along through the dive. So some seascape, some pencilfish, he's there. I don't think this is the same pencilfish. I think it's actually a different one, because I do turn my camera off and then turn my camera back on again when I see something interesting. And we're a little bit shallower here, because you can see again the blue color of the water. So we've come up from the 40 to 45 feet, and we're back up around 30 feet again as we're swimming along. So you can see the dive master is way ahead, and then Charles on the right, and Minnesota guy is on the left. So good visibility. The coral had good color. Conditions were good comparative to other years when we've been diving there, and there's been a lot of silt in the water, so you can't really see what's around you. This was my favorite part of the dive. This is sea turtles. So we were actually on our way back to the boat, and there he was, and I managed to see him. Was able to kind of get close to him and catch him on his way up for a breath of air. And then you'll see he goes up there, pokes his head above the water. I tried to signal the rest of the team to come back and take a look, but they were too far away, and he had ascended and had gone about his business. So that was it. Those are the highlights of my 2017 dive. Thanks for watching. Again, Low Key Water Sports, they do a great job. And fading out, there's a picture of myself and my sister Cheryl. And when we came up, it was cloudy. Actually, I think it was raining. So we went down, it was sunny. We came up, it was raining, and the sun did clear later on the day. Thank you.